Today's sad news. On Tori and Zach's Roloff. Tori and Zach's new personal home sold. Tori's home price $4 million. But why sold her home? I will explain everything today. You don't miss today's special update. If you've been following Little People, Big World, then you know there's been a lot happening with Tori and Zach Roloff lately. And today, we're diving into one of the biggest updates so far. Their personal home has finally sold. Yep, that's right. After being on and off the market for a while, the Roloffs have finally sold their Washington property, and it went for a whopping $4 million. Let's break it all down, the story behind the home, why they decided to sell, what we know about the sale, and what this could mean for the Roloff family going forward. So first, let's talk a bit about the house itself. Tori and Zach moved into this gorgeous home in Battleground, Washington, back in 2021. After leaving the Roloff farms in Oregon, they decided they wanted to create their own space to raise their family. And honestly, the house was beautiful. It had everything they needed, plenty of space for their 3 kids, a big yard, stunning interior design, and that peaceful, countryside feel they were looking for. Fans loved seeing the home featured on social media and on the show. Tori often posted photos and videos of the kids playing in the yard or hanging out in the cozy living room. And she even showed off some of the home improvement projects she and Zach took on together. It really felt like they were building their dream home. But in 2024, things started to change. Rumors started floating around that they were thinking of moving again. At first, fans weren't sure what to believe. After all, they had just moved a few years earlier. But then came the big news. The home was officially listed for sale. When it first hit the market, the price caught a lot of attention. It was listed at $4 million, which is a pretty big number, even for a home as stunning as theirs. Some people were surprised. Others thought it made sense, considering the size of the property, the location, and the custom features inside. The house sits on several acres and offers beautiful views, privacy, and a peaceful setting. It's not just a house, it's a lifestyle. Of course, whenever a celebrity sells their home, there's always a bit of buzz. People want to know, why are they selling? Are they moving somewhere else? Is something going on behind the scenes? In this case, Tori and Zach didn't immediately explain why they were selling. But over time, bits and pieces started to come out. In a few interviews and social media posts, Tori hinted that they were ready for a new chapter. She talked about feeling like it was time for a change and wanting to move closer to family or into a different type of environment for their kids. Selling a home, especially one they put so much love into, is never an easy decision. But it really seems like they made it with their family's best interests in mind. So now, let's talk about the actual sale. The house stayed on the market for a few months. There was definitely interest, but finding the right buyer for a $4 million property can take time. But now it's official. The house is sold. We don't have all the final details, like who bought it or if they got the full asking price. But multiple sources have confirmed the sale closed at, or very close to that $4 million mark. That's a big deal, not just for Zach and Tori, but for fans who've been following this journey for years. This sale represents more than just a real estate transaction. It's the end of a chapter. That home wasn't just a house. It was the place where their youngest child grew up, where family memories were made, and where fans got to see a more personal side of the Roloffs. It was also a space where Zach and Tori were able to build their own life outside of Roloff farms and really show who they were as a couple and as parents. So now the big question is, what's next for Zach and Tori? There's been a lot of speculation. Some fans think they may be moving back closer to Oregon to reconnect with family. Others think they may be heading somewhere totally new, maybe even out of state. As of now, they haven't confirmed exactly where they're going, but Tori has said they're excited for a fresh start and looking forward to new adventures. It's clear that whatever comes next, they're doing it together. And that's always been one of the most inspiring parts of their story, their strong bond, their love for their kids, and their ability to face change with positivity and courage. If you've been watching Little People, Big World since the early days, it's amazing to see how far Zach and Tori have come. From meeting on the show to getting married, starting a family, and now making big moves like this, they've shared so much of their journey with fans, and we've all grown with them. The sale of this home might feel like the end of something, but really, it's the beginning of a new chapter for them. And with how determined and grounded they are, there's no doubt they'll make their next home just as full of love and joy as the last one. Matt Roloff, the longtime star of Little People, Big World, is finally opening up. After nearly 2 decades of being under a strict NDA, non-disclosure agreement, he's starting to speak freely about what really went on behind the scenes of the hit TLC show. And fans are eating it up. Whether you've watched since the early days or just caught a few episodes here and there, what Matt is saying now gives a whole new perspective on the show. First, let's talk about the NDA. When Little People, Big World started in 2006, Matt and the rest of the Roloff family signed contracts that kept them from discussing certain things. These included details about production, behind-the-scenes drama, and even their own personal opinions about how things were edited. Now that the NDA has expired, or at least loosened, Matt is finally able to speak more freely. And he's not holding back. Matt has revealed that the show wasn't as real as it appeared. Sure, the family lived on the farm. Sure, they had real arguments and moments of joy. But a lot of what we saw was either carefully edited or completely staged to fit a certain storyline. According to Matt, producers often encouraged conflict to make episodes more dramatic. They would ask family members to redo conversations or even have fake arguments just to fill in missing footage. This might not be a surprise to some, but hearing it directly from Matt makes it hit differently. He said there were times he felt uncomfortable doing things that weren't natural, but he went along with it for the sake of the show. The biggest challenge, according to him, was balancing reality with what the network wanted. One of the biggest revelations was about his relationship with Amy, his ex-wife. Over the years, fans saw their marriage struggle and eventually end in divorce. But Matt says things weren't always shown accurately. He admits they had problems, but he feels the editing often made him look worse than he really was. He says it painted him as distant or uncaring, which he believes was unfair. According to Matt, there were many tender moments and genuine efforts to make things work that never made it to air. Matt also opened up about the emotional toll the show took on the family. Filming a reality show isn't just a part-time thing, it's a full-time commitment. Cameras were often around during holidays, birthdays, and even tough personal moments. There were times when family members just wanted privacy, but they were under contract to let the cameras in. This created tension and sometimes even resentment among the cast. He talked about how each family member handled the fame differently. Some enjoyed the spotlight, while others struggled with it. Matt said it was especially tough on the kids. Growing up on TV meant that every mistake they made was broadcast to millions of people. It's no wonder that some of the Roloff children have stepped away from the show entirely. Zach Roloff, for example, has had a rocky relationship with the show in recent years. Matt confirmed that tensions over the sale of the family farm were very real. When Zach wanted to buy a portion of the property and Matt didn't agree to the terms, it caused a major rift. Matt says this wasn't just for the cameras. It was a genuine disagreement that still affects their relationship today. Another big topic Matt finally addressed was money. For years, fans have speculated about how much the Roloffs made from the show. While Matt didn't give exact numbers, he confirmed that the pay wasn't as high as many people think. In the early days, the family made very little. It wasn't until the show became a long-running hit that the pay improved. Still, he says it wasn't about the money for him, it was about sharing their story and helping change how people viewed Little People. He also touched on the challenges of running Roloff farms while filming. The farm became almost like another character on the show, but behind the scenes, it was a lot of work. Matt said managing the land, taking care of events, and dealing with the public was exhausting, especially while dealing with family drama and network demands. Matt now feels like he can finally relax. With the show winding down and fewer restrictions in place, he's enjoying more control over his life and his story. He's still active on social media and keeps fans updated on projects around the farm. But he says he's done with the idea of letting a network control how his life is shown. That said, Matt is grateful for the experience. He says the show helped him reach people around the world, and he's proud of the positive impact it had. Many fans reached out over the years to say the Roloffs inspired them or helped them understand Little People better. That, to Matt, made it all worth it, even if there were some tough parts along the way. He's also optimistic about the future. Though there may not be new seasons of Little People, Big World, Matt has hinted at doing his own content, maybe a YouTube channel, podcast, or even a book. Now that he's free to speak his mind, he's considering new ways to tell his story on his own terms. Matt also talked a bit about Karen, his longtime girlfriend. He said their relationship was often misunderstood by viewers, especially because of the timeline following his divorce. But he insists that things between them didn't start until after he and Amy were fully separated. He also mentioned that Karen never really wanted to be on camera as much as she preferred being behind the scenes but did it for him. Fans are already reacting strongly to Matt's new openness. Some feel betrayed that parts of the show were staged or edited unfairly. Others appreciate his honesty and are glad to finally hear his side. Either way, Matt's recent comments have started a whole new conversation about the reality of reality TV. At the end of the day, Matt says he doesn't regret doing the show, but he wishes the public had seen a more accurate version of events. Now, with fewer restrictions and a fresh start, he's ready to tell the full story. Uncut, unfiltered, and totally real. Things between Karen Chandler, Zach Roloff, and Tori Roloff have been tense for a while now. What started as a strong family bond seems to have slowly turned into distance, misunderstandings, and even estrangement. Fans of Little People, Big World have noticed the coldness over the past few seasons, but not everyone knows exactly what went wrong. Let's go back to the beginning. Karen Chandler worked on Roloff Farms for many years before she started dating Matt Roloff. She was a longtime employee, managing events and helping out with farm tours and pumpkin season. Over time, she grew close to the Roloff family, including the kids. Even after Matt and Amy divorced, Karen stayed in the picture, this time as Matt's girlfriend. In the early years of her relationship with Matt, Karen seemed to get along with everyone, including Zach and his wife Tori. They were often seen on the show spending time together, attending family gatherings, and even sharing parenting moments with the grandkids. But things began to shift when Zach and Tori expressed interest in buying a portion of Roloff Farms. After Amy sold her share of the farm to Matt, Zach assumed there would be an opportunity for him to carry on the family legacy. He wanted to raise his kids there and keep the farm in the Roloff name. But according to Zach, the negotiations didn't go well. Zach felt that Matt wasn't being fair about the sale. He believed the price was too high and that Matt was treating him like just another buyer instead of his own son. Matt, on the other hand, felt that Zach had unrealistic expectations and didn't approach the deal with enough seriousness. In interviews, both sides admitted the conversations didn't go smoothly and things got personal very quickly. The failed farm deal created major tension between Zach and Matt, but it also seemed to affect Zach and Karen's relationship. Tori and Zach began to pull away, and it became clear that they didn't feel comfortable around Matt and Karen anymore. One of the biggest signs of this distance was when Zach and Tori moved out of Oregon and relocated to Washington. It was a big decision that seemed to reflect their desire to have space from the farm, from the family drama, and from everything that came with it. After that move, fans noticed something strange. Zach and Tori stopped attending some family events. They skipped a few birthdays and didn't show up for some of the big holiday gatherings that used to bring everyone together. Tori stopped posting photos with Karen. There were no more videos of the grandkids playing with Karen and Matt. Something had definitely changed. Although none of them said it directly at first, it became clear that there was a rift. In a later season of Little People, Big World, Matt mentioned that Zach and Tori had distanced themselves from him and Karen. He said they didn't feel comfortable having open conversations anymore and were choosing to keep things more private. Karen also spoke up. She shared that she felt uncomfortable being around Zach and Tori because the vibe had changed. According to her, it felt like they were being cold or closed off, and she didn't want to push herself into situations where she wasn't welcome. She mentioned wanting to take a step back to give them space. On the other side, Tori and Zach shared their perspective too. Tori admitted that things had been strained. She said they were choosing to protect their peace and not expose their kids to tension or drama. She didn't go into much detail, but it was clear that they were hurt by how everything unfolded with the farm and the family. One key moment that really showed the broken relationship was when Karen and Matt announced they were moving to Arizona part-time. They were spending more time away from the farm and even considering retirement. At the same time, Zach and Tori were building their life in Washington, focusing on their kids and new home. It was like the two couples were moving in opposite directions, physically and emotionally. Some fans believe that Karen may have played a bigger role in the farm deal than what was shown on TV. There were rumors that she influenced Matt's decisions or made comments that rubbed Zach the wrong way. While nothing has been confirmed, it added fuel to the theory that Karen and Zach's relationship was never as strong as it appeared. Others say that the real issue was simply too much pressure. Being part of a reality show, running a family business, and trying to manage personal relationships at the same time can be overwhelming. All of that stress might have made small issues grow into much bigger problems. Whatever the cause, the result is clear. Karen, Zach, and Tori are no longer close. In recent episodes, viewers saw fewer scenes of them together. Even family events that used to bring everyone into the same room now seem to happen in smaller groups. For example, Matt might host something with one side of the family, while Zach and Tori celebrate separately. Karen has tried to stay out of the drama more recently. She said she's focusing on her relationship with Matt and trying to enjoy life without conflict. She doesn't want to be part of any feud, and she's made it clear that she's not interested in rehashing the past. Still, fans are hopeful that things might improve in the future. With Matt and Karen getting engaged and possibly planning a wedding, there may be opportunities for reconciliation. Grandkids are also a big reason for families to come together, and many believe that the love for the kids could eventually bring everyone back to the same table. Zach and Tori haven't ruled out reconciliation, but for now, they're focused on their little family and maintaining boundaries. They've chosen to step away from filming full-time, which means they can avoid the pressure of cameras while healing behind the scenes. It's a tough situation. Family drama is always complicated, and when it happens in the public eye, it becomes even harder to fix. For now, it seems that Karen, Zach, and Tori are choosing distance over drama, and only time will tell if that changes. Zach Roloff, star of Little People, Big World, has recently been hospitalized, and fans are concerned. While this isn't the first time Zach has faced medical issues, any health-related news about him always gets a lot of attention, especially because of his unique condition and history of surgeries. Zach was born with achondroplasia, the most common form of dwarfism. Because of this, he's had a number of health challenges throughout his life. Over the years, viewers of the show have watched him go through various procedures, including back and leg issues, as well as hospital visits. He's always been open about his condition and how it affects him day to day. This time, Zach's hospitalization was related to a shunt in his head. A shunt is a medical device used to drain excess fluid from the brain to another part of the body, usually to prevent pressure buildup. People with dwarfism sometimes need shunts due to complications that come with the condition. Zach has had one since he was a child. The news of his recent hospital stay came from his wife, Tori Roloff, who shared updates with fans on Instagram. She posted a photo of Zach in a hospital bed, explaining that he had to undergo emergency surgery to replace his shunt. According to her, the surgery was urgent but successful, and Zach was recovering well afterward. Tori thanked everyone for their prayers and support, saying it was a scary time for the family. She mentioned how strong Zach had been through the whole situation and praised the medical team for acting quickly. The update brought relief to fans, who had been worried about his condition. What made the situation even more intense is that Zach and Tori are busy raising their 3 young kids, Jackson, Lila, and Josiah. Dealing with a sudden health emergency while parenting can be overwhelming. Tori admitted that it was hard to stay calm, but she tried to keep things together for the sake of the kids. Zach also took a moment to share his thoughts once he was feeling better. He said the procedure was tough, but he was grateful everything went smoothly. He admitted that even though he's used to dealing with medical stuff, it never gets easier. Being in the hospital, going under anesthesia, and facing unknowns is always stressful, no matter how many times it happens. This isn't the first time Zach has had shunt issues. In the past, he's talked about headaches and pressure in his head, which are signs that something might be wrong with the shunt. When a shunt stops working correctly, it needs to be repaired or replaced right away, or it can lead to serious health problems. Thankfully, this time doctors caught it in time. Zach's parents, Matt and Amy Roloff, also reached out during his recovery. Matt posted that he was proud of Zach's strength and was praying for a smooth healing process. Amy shared that she was in contact with Tori and keeping close tabs on the situation. Even though the family has had its differences, they always come together during tough times. Fans of Little People, Big World were quick to send messages of love and support. Many people shared their own experiences with similar surgeries or medical conditions, offering encouragement to Zach and his family. It's clear that Zach has built a strong connection with viewers over the years. He's never tried to hide his challenges. Instead, he shared them honestly, which has helped many people feel less alone. Zach's health scare also reminded fans of how strong Tori is as a partner. Throughout their time on the show, she's been a steady, supportive presence. From raising kids to moving states to dealing with family drama, Tori has always stood by Zach. In moments like this, her strength really shows. She took care of Zach, managed the household, and stayed positive, even when things were scary. After the surgery, Zach returned home to rest and continue healing. Tori shared more updates, saying he was doing better and even starting to walk around a little. She posted a few sweet moments of the kids visiting Zach, showing their love and concern. Jackson, their oldest, especially seemed to understand that Dad needed extra care. He even helped bring him water and stayed by his side. Zach's recovery will likely take a little time, but he's in good hands. He's been through a lot medically, and he knows how important it is to take things slowly. For now, he's focusing on resting, spending time with family, and avoiding stress. This hospitalization also raises questions about what's next for Zach and his time on Little People, Big World. In recent seasons, he and Tori have taken a step back from filming. They moved to Washington and started a quieter life, away from the Roloff farms and some of the family tension. Fans are wondering if Zach might officially leave the show to focus on his health and family full-time.